What's up, everybody? I am back doing another tech news. I'm gonna start making this an every Friday thing. So every week, go throughout the tech that happened throughout the week, especially with CES coming up. There's gonna be a lot of tech, but make sure you sub so you can actually catch the next one next week. But let's get right into it. All right, let's get right into it. Okay, so have y'all ever heard of the iPhone gaming controller? Because I sure haven't. Um, yeah, that's because they haven't made one yet, or yeah, yet. But one company has, Backbone. So they actually made a controller dedicated for iPhone. Has a Lightning port. That you can use to play your games. So I mean, if you're like a first-person shooter game player, like Call of Duty, can't do Fortnite anymore, but if you play Call of Duty, then you're kind of missing out if you don't have a really nice controller. And this one just kind of pops in, has a dedicated Lightning port, and it also gives you a headphone jack, which if you want to use a wired pair of headphones, which I appreciate, you sure can. Yeah, you actually get some pretty cool things going with it. You get a dedicated app that basically is like a game launcher. There is a button built right into it that you can access that dedicated app at any time during gameplay. So that I think that's pretty neat. I'm glad somebody did it, and they're doing a good job at it. But yeah, it does start off at $100, which I mean it's not the cheapest, but it's not super expensive. It's not like 150. It ain't no elite controller price, so we'll have to see how everybody likes it. If you have already gotten it, or if you're going to be getting it, let me know down below what you think about it, or what controller you're using when you play games on your iPhone, or even Android. Let me know. So who out there plays Cold War and Black Ops? Apparently right now Activision is getting a lot of hate, a lot of heat from Black Ops Cold War and Modern Warfare players, mostly Modern Warfare players, just because for the first time in Call of Duty history, they merged two games together, and not a lot of people are happy because, I mean, Modern Warfare players aren't getting the best treatment because if you don't have Cold War, you don't get a lot of those guns, and some of those guns are kind of meta right now, like the DMR and the MAC-10. Apparently those things shred. I haven't had a chance to use the DMR. I have used the MAC-10 quite a bit, but I don't like it. But apparently they shred. And so a lot of Modern Warfare players are kind of upset because it either kind of forces you to buy the game, or a lot of people are just going to stop playing. Like, I mean, I play it a lot. I don't like the games really, just because I'm not a big Call of Duty person. I like Destiny more than I like Call of Duty. But yeah, apparently a lot of people are upset and aren't too happy with Activision in this merger. Let me know what you think down below, what your comments are, because I want to know what your guys' thoughts are on the whole process, the whole thing. So in the processor space, we got AMD coming out with their new Zen 3 EPYC line on their 7 nanometer process. So they are going up against the Intel Xeon platform. Pretty much right now, AMD is kind of starting to take over. They are doing very well in the processor space. I mean, their graphics cards are doing pretty good. I mean, they're probably one of the only companies that's out there doing very good in both processor and GPU. Because I mean, NVIDIA doesn't make processors, at least for computers, but I mean, they make graphics processors. But yeah, with their new EPYC, they start off at 32 cores and go up to 64 cores, directly competing with Intel Xeon's 28 core processors. There was a benchmark done using Geekbench, which is a little outdated and can't really properly run newer processors, but they use 2 Xeon processors and 1 EPYC. And I mean, I think it was like a 4.7% lead for the Intel. Then again, it was using 2 processors, 56 cores versus 32. Come on, Intel, what's going on? I mean, what? The new EPYC has a TDP of 120 up to 220. So they are trading blows with Xeon right now, but I have a feeling AMD's gonna pull ahead just a tad, just a tad. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see what's going on. All right, so have y'all ever heard of the frame from Samsung? So apparently we got a new feature. So the Sero that actually came out from them, I think last year, middle of last year, or at CES last year, had the feature where it could turn to portrait mode. Now it was motorized. Now it had a feature that allowed it to rotate and go into portrait mode. Now the frame isn't going to do that, but you can physically turn it to make it go in portrait mode, which I think is kind of cool. I mean, it's still, in my opinion, pointless because you can get an OLED, which looks better, has a photo mode, and you can do pretty much the same thing. I mean, now if they put a Q80 or a Q90 in the frame, then we could talk. Then we could talk. But it's still a cool little niche thing to have. It's not something that you're gonna go out and absolutely want over something like an OLED. If you're gonna watch it every day, no, don't get a frame. Don't get an OLED, or even get a Q90. Because those are going to be a better experience for you. Now, of course, if you're doing it in like an office or a dentist office or a doctor's office, yeah, I mean that's kind of cool. That's kind of what they're made for. But you can turn it into portrait mode, and it looked pretty cool. So another cool thing that they have started to do with it is they start off at 32 inches now at $600, go up to 75 inches at $2,800. So you got some pretty neat things that you can do. I mean, you can have it in an office sitting right there next to you at a 32 inch, and it can like show some family pictures. But if you want to kick back and watch a movie real quick on your break or something, you can do that. So I think that's pretty cool that they're doing different sizes. This is part of their lifestyle lineup because I mean, you got their Terrace, their Sero, their Frame. I think one other one I can't remember, but they do have a lineup going. So I mean, oh, and the wall I guess is part of their lifestyle for the rich people. But yeah, I mean that's pretty cool. So I'm excited to see what that can do and what the actual QLED model is in it. Oh yeah, it has QLED in it. So I'm ready to see what that has. So Sony decided to tease us. Just a little bit before CES. So they decided to show off one of their cool new things coming out, one of their new lines, or their new lines of TV, I guess. So it's their B and C series of TVs. So they are kind of taking a note out of Samsung's book and doing micro LEDs. So it's going to be modular micro LEDs. So I mean, Samsung kind of pioneered it. I think it was 2 years ago when they like announced it and then came out with it last year. I mean, they are still almost unattainable because I mean, a 17 by 14 panel is like $16,000 or $17,000. Really? Why are you going to advertise something and then charge that much? I guess it's just for the very well-off people or businesses, but same thing goes for the Sony one. It's going to be pretty pricey, but apparently micro LEDs are the new direct competitor to OLED. So you're going to get OLED blacks, or very, very, very black, perfect blacks apparently, perfect contrast, and the cool thing is you don't get really any of the drawbacks. Like you get brighter pixels, you also get no burn-in, which they've pretty much eliminated on OLEDs now, but you don't get any burn-in. If I'm not mistaken, the power consumption isn't as high, and the LEDs don't degrade over time because they're not organic. So ready to see how this turns out at CES next week. We all knew this was coming. We all knew it. Nintendo's coming out with a new console. Or a revision, more or less. So they're supposedly going to be coming out with a new 4K console with an OLED screen. Now, we're not entirely sure on the extent of the 4K. In the coding, apparently, it does support some kind of 4K gameplay. We're almost certain it has an OLED screen. And with that OLED, a Marico SoC, or system on a chip. So I don't know much about that company. I'm going to definitely look into it. But let me know if you're gonna definitely try and get one. if we can get one. That's the thing with everything going on and the way Nintendo likes to do stuff. It may be very hard to get your hands on one when they come out, but let me know if you plan on getting one if or when they do come out with the new Switch. Let me know. All right, guys, that about does it for tech news today. Let me know what I can do different for tech news. If you want to see a different scene, I'm gonna have to work towards that. I am kind of like working on that side of the room to be my like little studio, so to say. That's gonna be changing soon. Let me know what you guys want to see next on tech news. If you want to see more of a specific category or more of a specific technology, or like if you want me to do a whole gaming episode, or you want me to do a whole computer episode, because I love to talk about computers, y'all know that, or like even a full headphone episode. But yeah, let me know down below. Make sure you are subbed so you can catch the next episode next Friday. But until then, love y'all. Stay blessed.